Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Happy New Year, by the way, people. Back, you know what I'm saying? Blue Diaries, episode 19. It's been a minute. We haven't done one since the Everton game. But obviously, with the Christmas period or the New Year's period, everyone was busy, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's been peak for us the past 3 games. Obviously, we haven't won any games. And these are, you know, teams that we were facing that we all kind of looked at and thought, you know what, we've got to be picking up 3 points here. And to walk away with 1 point out of 9 from Fulham, Everton, and Ipswich is not good enough, right? Really, really not good enough. Yeah. And we've got a solid panel today, people, because I really want to speak about this and speak about the problems that we've seen in the past few games. Like I said in the title, Maresca needs to go back to basics because for me, the in-game management has not been good enough. He has not used the squad well enough over this period. And again, the lineup like we saw the other day, starting Disasi at right back, playing Nkunku up top after you've said numerous times he's not a striker, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? And we'll touch up on the Palace game as well. The preview will be out a little bit later on today, people. I just done a preview with D. But now Palace is a must win. You know what I'm saying? We always want to win that game. But now there's more added pressure to that because, again, we have not been picking up any W's in the past 3 games. But first of all, Charlie, man, how are you, bro? You good? I know you was at the game against Ipswich. I watched the game back yesterday, bro. And listen, it was a tough watch, man. But how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yeah, mate, the Ipswich game was a tough watch. The last 3 games have been difficult, but you know, I still think we're in a good position for sure. You know, we're in the top 4, we're 3 points ahead of 5th. It's not a bad position, but there are a few things that have crept in over the last few games that are a little bit concerning, and they do need rectifying. Otherwise, they could cause us potential problems over the second half of the season. But yeah, no, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
That's good, man. And Jimmy, what you say, man?
Yeah, boss. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Big up, W. Big up.
1 point out of 9.
Is it Freedom Street?
Huh?
You never got Freedom Street?
Nah. Fuck out of here. Mark Roy, my thing there, brother.
And we've got Ads back on the channel as well, people. Ads, what you say, man?
Yeah, big up, bro. Good to be here, man.
Big up, man. AJ, what you saying as always, my bro?
Yes, sir. Big up. Happy New Year, my guys.
Man came with the new shades and that.
Nah, these some blue light glasses.
I was gonna say because are they yellow?
Yeah, they got a yellow tint.
Yellow tint, yeah. And Couch, what you say, man? Different surroundings today, brother. Your yard.
I'm just at the other side of my couch, man. That's all. Same old
couch. Same couch. Same credit.
No, big up, fellas.
Big up, man. Big up. But listen, let's chop it up, man. Let's speak about the game against Ipswich, a game that we lost. It's the first time that Ipswich have won a game in the Prem at home since 2002. Obviously, they haven't been in the Prem since then, but it was still embarrassing. You know what I mean? But looking at this game, it was very, very easy to see where we went wrong. First of all, that penalty was not a penalty. Right? I don't know what you guys think about it. That was not a pen. First of all, but I don't want to spend too much time on that because that's not the reason why we lost the game. But for me, there's not much Jorgensen can do there. You know what I mean? He's put his hands away from his body. It's the second part of his body which is followed through and caught, man. You know what I mean? They that's not a penalty.
It didn't even really catch him. Like
barely.
It was already fallen down before he got to him.
The contact wouldn't have made him fall. Put it like that. He had to throw himself to the ground. That contact wouldn't have made him fall. He had to throw himself to the ground. But I understand why they didn't change it. You understand what I'm saying? With the ref calling it, I can understand because he was touched.
But all you have to do is recommend for the ref to go over and have a look, though, right?
Oh, but they never do that, though. They never do that.
They never do that. That's the problem. Like so you should have been referred to the monitor, though.
But when you look at it again, you watch and you be like, oh yeah, he had to throw himself to the ground. Because that wasn't enough contact to make him.
The way he was bullying up people the whole game, you telling me that little contact making him fall?
Exactly,
come on, bro.
Yeah,
like
him and
bullying up everybody the whole game.
It was so cheap. It was so cheap, bro. You know what I'm saying? But listen, as I expected Ipswich to come out because end of the day, they're playing at home. They're not going to just sit back the whole game. You know, Dillap was trying to make himself at home. He was basically trying to audition, bro, because he knows that Chelsea won him. He knows right now Joe Shields is on the phone to him, his family, his agent, saying, yo, we're looking at you to come Chelsea, right? And it was very clear in his game that he was trying to impress. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I thought after the penalty, we started to control the game. It was now down to breaking down that low block. you know what I mean, breaking down that low block. We had a couple chances in the first half. If you guys remember, Palmer had a good chance created by Felix. Felix had a good chance himself. There was a time when he could have played the ball to Nkunku as well to create a better chance for Nkunku. He didn't fucking kick. You know what I mean? Cucurella had a chance. So going into the second half, I said, you know what? Within 10, 15 minutes, I could smell a goal. I don't know if you feel the same, Charlie, because he was at the game. And when you're at games, you can always feel when the team's about to score. And then Disasi, bro. Disasi decided to throw away that plan, right? Once he made that mistake, it was wraps for us. We started to improvise. We started to rush things. You know, all Ipswich had to do was sit behind the ball, get even deeper than what they were before, because they knew that we weren't going to score, bro. I could feel it after that period that we weren't going to score. You know what I'm saying? But Charlie, what was your take on the game? And obviously you was at the game as well.
I mean, look, it wasn't good, but then when you actually, like, I think put a little bit of context on it, yes, we didn't deserve anything out of it, but we did have so many chances and so many shots that were blocked, so many saves that the keeper was making. It wasn't even that Muric guy; it was someone else. I think it was their backup goalkeeper. But he had a very good game. We did have a lot of opportunities, but I can't sit here and say we deserved anything from that game because we didn't. You know, we didn't take the chances and we made sloppy mistakes. Forget about whether it's a penalty or not, right? Our defensive play in the build-up to that was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Disasi steps up when he shouldn't do. Madueke's not tracking back. It's lazy defending from the centre-backs as well. So forget the contact. The actual defending to get into that position in the first place is shocking from 3 or 4 players. And then it's shambolic for the second goal as well. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, it was a poor performance, but it was 2 goals that were totally avoidable because the defending for the second goal is poor as well. The Disasi pass is shocking. But then even the defending from, I think it's Tosin with a lazy block, just like gets down on one knee and doesn't do anything. You know, for me, it was an avoidable result given the mistakes that we made. But, you know, when you just have them games, right, where it doesn't matter how many shots you have, how many chances you have, nothing goes in. And you just get that feeling like we could still be playing now and we just weren't going to score in that match. It was just one of them. But I look at the changes that he made as well in this game. And I just think I'm wondering whether certain decisions were made to keep certain players happy. We all know that there's no reason why you have 3 right backs on the bench and you play Disasi there. I'm wondering whether it's like, because Disasi, whatever people think of him, he is a well-respected member of the squad in terms of by some of the younger players and in terms of like what his role is off the pitch. I just wonder whether like he's played him in this game because he just wants to keep him happy. Do you get what I mean? I almost feel like, I don't want to say player power won out in this situation, but I think he was ticking boxes by playing Disasi. I think the same with players like Nkunku, for example. There wasn't really a reason why Nicholas Jackson shouldn't have started this game, if we're being honest, but it's giving players minutes that because the Conference League's gone till March, we've lost that rotational stuff. So now we've had to make a few changes in the league and it's massively backfired. I'm not saying we shouldn't have made any, but some of the changes were poor, in my opinion.
100%, man. And you're spot on when you say that as well. Like, starting Disasi at centre-back annoys me as it is. Now, starting him at right-back is even worse. You know, Charlie, I thought this was something which was dead with Poch, because Poch used to fucking like this experiment. And for me, you know, Disasi, he's not good enough to be at Chelsea, and he's not a right-back, bro.
But do you know what also, right? Do you know what's also mad, right? Is that even in the Conference League, we've seen when he's at right back, the guy gets caught out at that level. And so this is where I've got a little bit of sympathy for him, because he's not a right back. We know that he's shit at right back. And then we're getting annoyed when he's shit at right back. It's like, well, why are we surprised? So you have to look at the manager on that one. And you sort of have to think, well, why, when he clearly knows all this, why has he picked him? Bro, if I'm Josh Achimpong, right, and I've signed a new long-term contract, and I've been convinced of the pathway, and I get to a game against Ipswich, right, who are a relegation threatened side, and Disasi plays at right back ahead of me, I'm absolutely fuming about it if I'm him. Because if you're not going to trust him in this game, when can you trust him?
Facts. And the thing is, for me, Jimmy, like what Charlie's made some good points, but I don't agree with the thing about, you know, trying to keep people happy, because with Disasi, he's not a first choice centre back, right? And realistically, he's most likely going to get sold in the summer as well, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't agree with he's playing players to satisfy. I don't think he's doing that. He doesn't come off as that type of player. I don't think he give a fuck when he was bold enough to go tell Chilwell and Sterling, yeah, y'all can go chill. Like, so that don't fit his character. But I just think he just played like guys have to. I understand the rotation of the players. Like, I get, because I think for some reason I remember hearing before the game that he was going to rotate. I can't remember who reported it. Somebody reported that he was.
He said it himself. He was going to make changes. He said it.
Yeah,
himself.
I think okay, that's what it was. He said it in the press conference that he was going to make changes. So I wasn't surprised. I think he did it because he probably genuinely felt like some guys needed to be, swapped out. I think he's in a rough spot when it comes to striker. We don't have a backup striker. Like, I understand why he put Nkunku out there. Nkunku talent, on his talent alone, what he's able to do as a footballer is enough to put him out there over Mark Guehi. If it don't work, it don't work. But if you ask me who I'm going to put out to start against Ipswich in the Prem at striker, I'm going to put Nkunku 10 times out of 10. I think him looking bad was a part of the team looking bad more than just him looking bad as a striker. Because I think when he's at striker, we have to play different. If you're going to play him at striker, you have to play different. That's my only issue about putting him at striker. There's a lot of teams that have different profiles of strikers. When they put the other profile in, they kind of switch up play a little bit.
Exactly.
So I would appreciate if he's going to if he has to, if he's in a position where he has to play Nkunku as striker, just switch up the play a little bit. Just accommodate him a little bit. You don't have to change up everything. Just the way how he.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Jim. And we're speaking about this in the group yesterday. And for me, I was saying, listen, I get what you're saying because when you start Nkunku, you know Nkunku's quality in the box. You know if you whip it across, he's going to finish it, bro. You know he's got good reactions in the box usually, right? But the issue that I've got is our wingers right now in the box have not been decisive enough. So you're asking them to do something that's a little bit more advanced to what they haven't been doing anyway. So you're just making the job a lot harder because Gil suits how we're playing already is the point that I was making because he's more of a natural striker. He's someone that can make up play outside the box, right? No, hear me out, bro. Yeah, for me, Nkunku, like Maresca said numerous times, he is not a striker, AJ. You know what I'm saying? And Jimmy, you can respond as well. He's not a striker. I don't like seeing him up.
But I'm not. He's better. He's gonna be a better player to put at the 9 in front of Mark Guehi right now.
Of course,
he's not. 10 times out of 10. It's not even to me.
It's here,
and then it's here. It's here and then it's here. Because if you actually play to what Nkunku can do as a football player, playing like a 9 or a false 9, he can cook. So I'm not gonna I don't know what Guehi can do. I know Nkunku can cook. I see him cook Prem teams in Champions League. I see him cook on our team against Champions League. But when he goes to the 9, we continue to play as if Jackson's up there.
No, I agree with what Jim. I agree with what Jim said.
I don't agree.
I never expect him to look good. Us playing with him at the 9 and playing like how we play.
Listen, we had about two of our chances or half chances because they ended up not being anything, especially the one with João Felix on top of the box where he should have played Nkunku. Nkunku's in the right place. You just have to make the right decisions. Otherwise, because at the end of the day, a striker feeds off of what the service that he's getting. If he's not getting the ball in the moments and the spaces that he needs to be getting the ball, we can't judge him too harshly. Other than I could understand, okay, his work rate when you want to compare it against Jackson, it's not going to be the same. You understand that he's just not the same type of player. Yeah, so you have to look at the game differently.
My thing with him is that we're not going to change the way that we play. If we change the way that we play, right, and Nkunku's up there, that's different. So we're not going to change the way we play. So this is why I agree with Don that actually for me right now, if we're talking about playing the number 9, how we are playing football, I would rather have Mark Guehi up there because he suits what we're doing. He presses hard. He runs behind. He works hard. He makes a nuisance of himself, and he's better suited to how we play right now. Nkunku, the way that we play with Nkunku, the way that we play, in my opinion, does not suit playing the number 9. Right now, it might seem harsh, but he's a net negative for us on the pitch, playing the way that we're playing, and so I would rather. This is not about whether Nkunku is clearly a miles better footballer than Mark Guehi. This is not about quality of footballer. This is about suitability to the number 9 role in this current team. And Maresca is not changing the way that we play, whether it's Jackson or Nkunku up there. So for me, Nkunku has shown that he is not doing what is required in this team from the number 9. And so right now, it is a net negative for me having him on the pitch in the 9 role. It just is.
If Felix played that ball to Nkunku and he scores, are you still calling him a net negative on the field?
Nobody will. Like, but
if
we're
playing him,
it's all ifs. But I understand what you're saying. Okay, one of the times, at one point during my stream, I kept saying, when Nkunku, he actually comes and looks for the ball.
Yeah, you have to give him the ball.
You have to give it to him.
That's what it is.
If your striker comes out and say, hey, put the ball on his foot, let him touch the ball. They fucking keep going back to Tolson. And I'm about to go on a break.
I agree on that.
Keep going to fucking Tolson and Caldwell.
We have to see how many times
creators
did the attacking player pass the ball to Nkunku that game. If they're not playing him the ball, then it's not going to be effective.
But we talk about, we need to play in a different way, right? We're not going to do that. So doesn't more impetus need to be put on Nkunku to adapt to how we're playing, to make more of an effort to sort of fit the way that we're looking to play? Because we're not going to change to suit him.
It makes more sense to adjust to Nkunku because his adjustment is not a major adjustment. He's just going to be doing more movement. When he runs out of the space, somebody else runs into the space. The one time I said it, Nkunku came out. Somebody faked the pass to Nkunku, whipped it around to Tolson, and Tolson popped it over the top because Palmer finally ran into that empty space. And they did it one time. And I said it, I said that's there all day. And I think they did it one other time in the Matter game. No other time. It was there all day. Every time Nkunku ran out, there was space in behind. Like, as a player, I understand you have the set way how you play, but there's greatness happens when a player sees something that another player can't, and you just do it. The space is there. Somebody got to look and say, oh, shit, space. And just run into the space. Just go into the goddamn space. This is there. When Nkunku came out, he's looking for the ball. You don't give it to him. Cool. If somebody dashes into that goddamn space, man, we
gotta be flexible. We just have to be flexible. Like we have to be solving problems on the field. We can't get stuck in this one place.
Understand the way we play, and guys are gonna move. I don't know if y'all remember when we first had Nkunku. What we loved about Nkunku when he was out there with Jackson and all those guys, that it was so fucking interchangeable. Guys would just move. Jackson was moving. That's what Nkunku's doing the same thing. He's moving, but guys are not working with it. I don't understand it. It's like, when he moves, somebody else run into that space.
To be honest, I just don't like him with João Felix. I think João Felix in that number 10. I guess he's playing more of a left winger role, but
it was like 210.
He just doesn't recognize runs well. You know what I mean? Like if he comes deeper, I think that he's good at playing the ball over the top. But those little 1-2s where he's seeing where of course where Nkunku's peeling off and he's looking for that run, like that one was just so obvious, and it just seems like his decision making more often than not is just not very good, and like all we've seen this season is, for the most part, is Nkunku and Felix together, and they just don't work together, and it'd be nice. It would just be nice if Nkunku had somebody that understands his runs, understands what he's doing, playing him in a little bit more. And he still scored a bag of goals, even just being a Johnny on the spot, which is why I think he's so valuable to this team. He's a guy that gets into areas that when you get him there, obviously he didn't score against Ipswich, but he gets in there, he normally scores. So for me, it's not about like Guillou at this point, like, because Guillou can't get into those areas the way Nkunku does. You know what I mean?
He can't get into those areas.
I'm not
going in the back of the
his movement, bro. One of Gill's main strengths is his movement in the box, bro. That's one of his main strengths.
I'm not necessarily, like, I can say his anticipation is pretty good, but I wouldn't say that his movement is that of an Nkunku's. For me,
bro, we literally saw Palmer. We literally just saw Palmer have a shot, hit the post, and Nkunku wasn't ready for it, bro. He wasn't ready for it like a striker would be, bro.
But I'm not doing that.
How often do you see that? And how often do you see that from Nkunku?
You're not doing that.
How often do you see that from Nkunku? How often do you see that from Nkunku?
Bro, but you're trying to say that Nkunku's way better than that than Gil. I disagree. I think Gil's movement in the box is very, very good, bro. That's why I want him to start.
He's good anticipation, but I don't think
he's got the striker's instinct, hasn't he? That's the thing. He's alert in the box.
Yo, Nkunku
very alert in the
box. Score out of nothing inside the box. He don't need space. His footing don't even have to be well. We've seen that.
No, we have Jimmy.
It's fucking feeding just what balls coming in, whipped in, what like that's one thing I hate about when I know a player is good and they're being misused and people start turning on what kind of player he is because you're not playing to his style.
No. Listen, I'm not turning on Nkunku because
we're not playing to his strength. He's no less of a footballer than he was when we were crying for him last year.
Exactly.
He's no less of a footballer.
Facts.
None.
Exactly.
No less.
Nobody expected him to not be in the lineup this year. Nobody expected him to not be in the lineup. He was a guaranteed starter for us this year. So
of course,
you can go back to then the more you watch me saying there is no way this guy don't start. I thought there was no
thing is, it should have been the more you watch Felix.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is what you guys aren't listening to right now. If we didn't have a Mark Gill right now in the team, yeah, fair enough, I would hear it. Nkunku would be the next best option. But the point that I'm making, like Charlie said already, we have a natural striker in the team, yeah. And people are saying stop calling him Gildon. It's pronounced Giu. It's not pronounced Giu. Go watch the video that he did when he first came. He pronounced the name.
Cheers,
Gil. And all the Spanish commentators pronounce it as Gil, bro. Go watch it. Go watch the thing.
We call Aspilicueta Dave. Like, who cares, man?
People are saying Gil, bro. It's not called Gil, bro. It's Gil. You know what I mean? But this is one of the problems that Jimmy. This is one of the problems that I've got here because this again. I'm not even blaming Nkunku here. My anger doesn't come from Nkunku because I love Nkunku. Nkunku's a baller, bro. Top finisher. Yeah, I was so excited to see this guy actually getting fit. I was pissed off the way Poch was using him last year again because he was using him as a fucking striker and he was non-existent when he was playing really up top, right? But these are one of the things that you see with Nkunku up top. Why is my striker here, bro? Yeah? Why is my striker here? Who's here? There's no one here. He makes the job too easy.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that, though. If you have somebody else actually filling the space that he's vacating.
Bro, there is something wrong with it when there's no one taking up that space, bro.
What's going on in the yeah? But what's going on with the build-up right now? Like this is what the problem I have with these screenshots. Like, what's happening in the movement here? Like, it's one thing to see him come and collect the ball deep. What's happening within the sequence of the play? That's why I can't look at this and be like,
here.
oh, he's wrong. He's wrong.
In the sequence, there was no need for him to drop deep here, bro. This is the position
why is he
where
on the ball?
Oh, but wait,
exactly,
this is why I disagree, Don.
Exactly, bro.
Why? Let me tell you why I disagree, Don. Let me tell you why I disagree. Because I remember 4, 5, 6, 7 straight possessions where he didn't touch it. As a footballer, especially when you're not a natural number 9, it's very unnatural to not touch the ball. You're going to come and get it. I remember when we had Lukaku and everybody was beating him down. What everybody said, if you're not getting the ball, come get it. Nkunku was not getting the ball.
We see strikers do this all day. I don't understand why.
I'm getting more and more triggered because the ball was living on Tosin and Caldwell's foot. Nkunku.
But Jimmy, that's my point, man. Then you're missing the point that I'm making, right? These are the positions I want to be seeing Nkunku picking up the ball. Then I want a striker to be here, bro. I don't want Nkunku in this position. I want Nkunku picking up the ball here. Like you're saying, Jimmy, you're spot on. He wasn't really getting the ball enough. There was a couple of times he got the ball in the box and he kept popping it off. If you guys have watched the game back, he kept popping it off, right? For me, there's certain times where when he was getting on the ball, a natural striker would just spin and try and bang it in. The positions that he was getting the ball a couple of times in the box, a Haaland gets it there, a Gokeres gets it there. They're just going to spin and shoot, right? And it's not to say Nkunku can't finish, but naturally, he's not a striker, yeah? And like I've said, I love Nkunku, bro. I want to be seeing Nkunku picking up the ball here, but not when he's playing up top is the point that I'm making. I don't want to be seeing him this deep, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just look at this. Look at this. There's no threat here, bro. Everyone's taking up their positions. You know what I mean? And if you
go my point,
Jackson does this half the game. Half the game.
Somebody needs to run into that space.
And this is the thing that I don't understand.
Don, you gotta chill.
The problem I had with this game was not
bro.
the fact that he came deep to get the ball 1 and 2 times. Like that's natural for a striker to come deep and come collect the ball. For the majority of the game, he was situated exactly where he was, exactly where you have that I don't even know what that is, a trapezoid there. That's exactly where he was for the majority of the game, and never got the ball.
He did get the ball.
You're absolutely right.
He got the ball. He got the ball. Bro, he got the ball. Nkunku got the ball on a couple occasions in the box, and he just popped it off. Yeah, he popped it. He kept popping it off in the box instead of taking the responsibility.
Yeah, but you said it yourself there, Don. He got the ball a couple times in that area. So for the amount of position that we had in the game, why is Nkunku getting the ball a couple times in that area? He should be touching the ball way more, and he doesn't get the ball. We saw it in this game, even in the Fulham game with Jackson. There's times when we're not feeding the striker early. There's times when the striker is in, and on choosing not to feed him, and that's on the players. That's on his teammates.
And that's to touch upon that as well, yeah. Because me and AJ was going back and forth in the group chat as well about our wingers, yeah. I'm not putting this loss on Nkunku. Like I've said, Nkunku's not a striker. I want to see him in this team, but I want to see him, if anything, play him on the left, because Mudryk ain't here right now, right? Play Sancho and Mudryk on the left, if anything. Sancho and Nkunku on the left, if anything. But right now, our wingers are not doing enough. Madueke again in this game in the box, not decisive enough. Yeah, AJ, you sent the video in the group chat earlier of Madueke's shot when Disasi played it through to him. Right, he had another option there. Whip it across goal, bro. Yeah, whip it across goal in that situation, or try and cut back to win a penalty. Right, or try cut back to try and bend it on your left foot. That was never gonna go in there because you can see the keeper's fucking tall. That's number one. And number two, he's got his front post covered. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, AJ?
No, that's a fact. I mean, again, Sancho, Madueke, Neto, they, for the past couple games, 3 games, ironically, which are the games that we haven't, we fall short. They haven't had their best games, and a lot of our action and a lot of our breaking down of teams have been coming from wide areas, where they're getting around that fullback and then finding somebody in the middle of the field. So that has shut down, and it's a problem for us, and teams have planned, and so they've seen that they have to, kind of double up on our wingers, and then that kind of stifles our progression forward, So, and then also the players just have to kind of take a little bit more responsibility, a little bit more of a risk, a little bit more, aggression in the final third to try and score, try and take those shots, especially Sancho. We've been talking about Sancho shooting the ball for a long time. He had a little period where he started shooting, he scored 1 or 2 goals, and then he stopped doing it. So, it can't only be Cole Palmer and Jackson scoring goals for us. These guys got to get on the board. They have to score. But Maresca also has to, I don't know, find some sort of adjustment. I also think that right center back, and left center back, those positions are crucial for our wingers. And, over the past couple games, it's kind of been rotated. I know Cucurella finally has came back and studied that left side, but that right side is a problem. I don't know how good Achimpong is, but we might have to start looking towards. We got
better than Disasi.
There you go. We need some more dynamic players on that side. It can't be Disasi anymore. We're doing him a disservice and the team a disservice. You understand? So, we got to do something. But the wingers, we need them to get back on the scoreboard because they were scoring and providing.
100%, 100%, bro. 100%. Go on, Ad. You're about to say something.
No, I mean, listen. The thing with Maresca's had a very good start to the season. In general, the team still done well, even in these games while the results weren't great. Everton performance was dry, fair enough. Fulham, we did enough to win, but then how we dropped it in the second half and pretty much fumbled the bag was on us, and obviously on Maresca, the lack of changes tactically and also with personnel. And then the Ipswich game wasn't the worst performance. Again, it's a different story of one of Palmer's chances that hit the post go in. If Felix times to run a little bit better, that goes in. Cucurella had an open chance. We had so many chances in the first half alone that changes the complete dynamic of the game. So I'm not too much panicking about the performances in general. However, obviously, there's key things that Maresca needs to address. And for me, like AJ was saying, when you're trying to play this type of football, it's a waste of time putting the Sarsi or RCB when you get so much of the ball, and we just know his decision making, his ability on the ball, it isn't there. And I've been done in terms of like criticizing and cussing the Sarsi. I'm not going to blame the Sarsi. It's not his fault. If he's playing centre back and dropping stinkers, it's a bit different. But playing right back, when I know from last season you're not good enough, it makes no sense. I mean, this guy at right back last season was scoring own goals from 30 yards away against Maresca's Leicester team. Like, what are we doing here? Like, even against Newcastle in the cup, he was so bad. I was like, but you know what? I'm not going to get onto him. Maresca should see this as a lesson and never play him there again. But he didn't want to trust Achimpon. I don't get it. Obviously, I understand wanting to risk Oscar. It is what it is. But like, listen, you can't be starting the Sarsi there. That's on the manager. That's for the attack. I'm just getting very frustrated about wingers right now because yes, they've all got their different type of talents and whatnot, and it's great. And I'm going to roll Felix into this as well because for me, Felix and Madueke are shoot first type of attacking players. And that's where they're different to Sancho and Neto, because Sancho and Neto, while they've had some good games, particularly Sancho, Neto, I've not been a big fan of so far this season. They don't offer that threat. When you think of who's going to score a goal for, who's going to create a moment of magic for us, Sancho and Neto aren't doing it consistently enough. They're not. And Sancho has been having some decent games in terms of creating, but you feel like while he's on the pitch, you need Palmer to step up and get a goal. You need Jack to step up and get a goal. Sancho is just there to help, facilitate, create. Maybe he can give you a moment of magic like the Tottenham game, but that to me just seems like it's going to be few apart in between. But with Neto, again, unless you're going to bring him a 6'2" striker that can make use of his crosses, I'm not seeing the threat. I'm really not seeing the threat. And then with Noni, yes, the threat is there, but the decision making is poor. Same thing with Felix. I watched Felix from a young age at Benfica, and his decision making has not gotten any better. And this is when he was quoted as a generational talent, which I think he was at the time. He was a top talent. But the talent stayed the same, and the decision making has also stayed the same. It's poor. So these players need to back up their ideas, because if they don't, we're going to still perform well, but we're going to end up throwing games away, because this defense, as good as it has been, without Fofana, Colwood to the left-hand side, Tosin, who's just okay, the Sarsi playing right back, oh God, we're going to concede a lot more goals. We're going to concede a lot more goals.
But I think on the attackers very quickly, you can see just very quickly, John. Just quickly, bro. Like I was just going to say, Adz makes a good point, right? You obviously you're wanting more, contribution output from your wingers, right, and your attacking players, more output, right? But let's actually look at the players on the pitch, right, through their careers. João Felix has never been a high output guy. So why are we expecting high output from him when he's never done it in his career, right? You look at Madueke, for example. Look, he's still young. He's 22 years of age. His output has generally not been that good. It's been okay this season, to be fairness, but he's not shown so far that he can produce maybe the level of output that we need. Sancho has never really been a prolific output guy. I know in Dortmund he scored a lot of goals now, but in Man United at the Premier League it didn't happen for whatever reasons. And then you've got Pedro Neto, who is at Wolves. He was not a goal scoring winger. He was more of a creative winger. And as you said, we don't really have that presence in the box to make the most advantage of the balls that he puts in. So when you actually look at the players on the pitch, right, other than say Cole Palmer and Jackson to an extent, there's not actually that many of the attacking players who have demonstrated that they can actually produce decent levels of output, which is a problematic situation. You're almost coming into games now where if Palmer or Jackson don't score, we're struggling to score goals, which seems to be a mad situation to be in.
That needs to change, Charlie, man, because you can see, this is Ipswich. Look how many bodies they've got in the box right now. Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here, Couch. How are we gonna, improve in the box? What do we need to do in order to improve in the box? Because we're gonna face another low block this weekend, people. We've got Palace coming up. Palace, I just done a preview of D, and in the box they put bodies in there, bro. So we're gonna face another situation like this. How do we overcome this, Couch?
Yeah, I think that most of that comes down to just destabilizing some of this balance that Maresca seems to crave, right? And putting more attacking impetus in the box. He did it for a short spell against Ipswich where he had both Nkunku and Jackson on the pitch at the same time. Didn't really work. We weren't really creating a lot of opportunities, but I still think that that's the way forward. Like, if you need goals, you cannot be taking off a goal scorer when you need goals or bringing on somebody that's just like another facilitator. So I think it's just like destabilizing some of the balance, maybe taking off a defender and bringing on an attacker, playing with maybe a little bit more impetus in the final third, like looking to really probe teams the right way. And that's the key for me. Like, the problem I have with Maresca is not the issue with balance, because I think that that's the way you win matches more often than not. You need balance on the pitch. You can't just be playing with 8 or 9 defenders or attackers one way or the other. What you need to have is balance. But at the same time, when you're chasing the game and you have weapons on the bench and you don't want to use them, that's where I have my issue. Like, how many games have we needed a goal and you see Nkunku on the bench and he doesn't come on until like the 85th minute? Like, that's not acceptable.
And then he comes on for the striker.
Yeah, but even still, I don't care where he comes on. Like, you play him at right back. I don't care, but you need to have a striker. You need to have him on the pitch. You need him on the pitch. He can't just be getting these garbage minutes when we all know that he has talent in the box to make the difference. The one time that he did come on late and score was Bournemouth, but what they're asking him to do, to be as clinical as, come on in 10 minutes and make an impact, is just not enough. So my criticism from Maresca is recognizing what stage we are at the game and bring on the attacking talent that we do have on the pitch. Because truly, this team is an attacking team. We have an attacking team. We do not have a team that is set up to, be defensively sound or, just pop it about and like keep possession. We just don't have that team right now. We have an attacking team. All the talent on this team is in attacking areas. So he's just got to be better at recognizing that and like destabilizing that balance a little bit more to be more aggressive in the final third.
But I think just quickly, he should be being more proactive with the subs and absolutely right that likes of Nkunku and these guys aren't getting enough minutes to make an impact when they should be. But I think it comes down to a simple thing: is the gaffer don't trust those players. It's obvious that he doesn't trust them. But like, why is it, like, for example, let's look at 3 games, right? Everton, we were crying out for some creativity, right? He waited until 78 minutes or whatever it was to put Nkunku and Madueke on when we needed creativity much earlier. You look at Felix, didn't even play in that game. You're crying out for creativity. Same with Fulham. Same with this Ipswich game, right? We're needing some changes. For me, right, he can say that he trusts the squad, but decisions that have been made in the last few games indicate a different story, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though.
Exactly. Why doesn't he trust these guys, though? Like,
even if he doesn't trust them, like the problem we have right now is we're into the December period. We have multitude of matches, right? Like match every 3 games, every 4 games.
Yep.
You have to utilize the squad. You cannot continue to go back to the same lineup and expect the same, to expect them to not get fatigued and tired. So whether or not he trusts the squad or not, he has to do what's right and rotate the squad correctly.
We have to use the squad, yeah.
And he's an honest man as well, Couch. He keeps talking about Felix in a good light. He says Nkunku is not a striker, but then his actions are saying something else. That's the problem here.
All he's been talking about all year when we're talking about like finding the rotation for players, getting players minutes, is like when we get into December, there's going to be lots of minutes available. He's not rotated the squad. We have injuries now, and we're not seeing any sort of rotation. He's still running these guys into the ground. Like there's no mistake. Like Caicedo didn't have a good game for me the last couple of games, and it's not because he's not a quality player. It's because the guy's been running to the ground. I understand, obviously, like Lavia's not there and whatnot, but you have to rotate the squad, man. You have to rotate the squad.
I don't know who are you going to put in for Caicedo.
Well, maybe Caicedo's a bad example. Caicedo's maybe a bad example.
He's going to have to suck it up and fucking play because there's nobody to play there.
Yeah, maybe Caicedo's a bad example. But you get what I mean, though.
I'm sorry, but the position where Caicedo play, those guys don't rotate much. You don't see DM, the guy. Those players don't really rotate much. If
you have players that can come into the side, you will.
There's teams that have that position. Those guys don't rotate much. When you got that DM that got like. We didn't rotate Makaleli. We didn't rotate Conte. You don't see Rodri rotate. Those guys don't really rotate. Like, I don't know.
But they can't play every game.
That's my position on the field. Like, I love that. I love my sentiment. There ain't no rotational thing. I don't have no problem with the mid.
I don't even see him as a defensive mid as much as I see him as an 8. Maybe that's the thing, right? Because I see Lavia as the number 6.
He does more defensive work than he does offensive. His job was defensive. Like his interception. To me, he going forward, he's looked a little bit more shaky, but his main job, he still looks like Caicedo. He's still getting interceptions, he's still getting tackles, he's still doing that. Going forward, he's looking a little bit not as good as before, but I don't even put that on him.
What are we talking about?
We don't look as good as we looked before. We are playing different. Any game where I'm sitting and I'm looking at fucking Caldwell with his foot on the ball, I already know we're not playing well. It gives me flashbacks. It gives me, I start itching. It gives me agita. It reminds me of Potter ball and early Potts ball when our fucking center backs are the ones with the most touches. You cannot have Cole Palmer on the fucking pitch and Caldwell and fucking Tolson is dictating the play.
What have you thought about this shape, Jimmy? What have you thought about this shape?
Rainbow fucking football where they keep passing the ball back and forth between the three fucking center backs. This is a Chelsea thing. It don't matter the manager we have because Tuchel did it at the end. Potter did it. Potts did it. They all end up, I don't know fucking why. Chelsea, we always end up with three fucking center backs on the pitch playing hockey sack. Here's the ball to you, here's the ball to you. The ball back and forth to each other. When you look, you can clearly see Palmer's frustration. Like, give me the fucking ball. What are you dickheads doing? But it's not his personality to snap. Because I'm quite sure people who would have been, you can see his frustration. He going, it's like, yo, give me the fucking ball. You guys are no threat. And also, it needs to be pointed out, this game was Levi Caldwell's worst game passing forward. He was just fucking passing the ball to nobody. No, time after time after time after time, Levi Caldwell passes was going to.
I don't think his passing was that bad in this game. I don't think it was that bad in this game.
This game, even one ball. It was not good against Fulham.
I don't know if you remember, Jimmy. Yeah, there was even one ball that he played to Madueke in the box.
You just said one ball. I knew you were going to bring up one ball.
No, talk about the ball. There was a nice cross. There was a nice cross. There was a nice cross.
Was not.
Yeah, Madueke, he fluffed it. I remember.
Yeah, Madueke fluffed it, bro.
Just for clarity, I'm looking at the stats right now. He had 0 accurate long balls, 6 attempted.
I'm telling you, I remember he was fucking horrible. He kept hoofing it to the front, and it was going to no one. And then he just had this laissez-faire.
That one ball was a good ball to Madueke, though. But
it's a very good ball, bro.
That one change.
I'm with you, Jimmy. I'm with you. I'm with you on it.
His side of the pitch. Down that left wing, everything he shot forward was.
But he's also playing out of position now too. This Fofana.
No.
Yes,
He's been playing there. He's been playing like this. I've had no problem with Caldwell. Nowhere he's played this year. I've seen him play well in this. I'm his biggest critic.
But where his best games come from?
And I started drawing back when I realized, all right, this kid is not a left back. But there's certain things. It does not matter what position you're playing. When you're passing shit, you're passing shit.
I'm not the biggest
number one attribute is supposed to be his passing. I don't give a fuck where he's standing at. Pass the ball. Like, this IC don't give a. I know DCIC's not a right back, but that pass back that he made, that had nothing to do with being a left back, a right back, a center back, a goalkeeper. That was a terrible pass no matter where you play. So I don't. Caldwell's long ball, which is supposed to be his specialty, was horrendous, and he just kept doing it.
I agree with you, but the fact that Fofana's injury
and even the way him and
has everybody out of position,
passing the ball back and forth to each other. They'll act like they were looking up for somebody and then pass it to each other. It was pissing me off, and I don't understand how Maresca don't get up and say, "God damn it, we're playing forward. Play the ball forward."
I think one thing we have noticed, right, is that Fofana is a bigger miss maybe than a lot of people.
Say it again. Say it again, please.
That is a bigger miss, right? Yeah, it's a bigger miss than a lot of us thought, right? Because I remember, right, when we played West Ham away and Tosin had a good game at centre-half, there were a lot of people saying that Tosin is better than Fofana and that Tosin should be playing at centre-back with Levi Caldwell as the first-choice pairing. And now, all of a sudden, I've said this all along, right? Fofana, for me, when he's fit, is our best centre-back, right?
Yes.
You notice when he doesn't play, not only does Caldwell look worse, right? Caldwell is better when Fofana's alongside him, but it also puts everyone out of position. By the way, I'm not saying we would have won these games with Fofana playing at the back, but what we have noticed is that we miss him a lot. and he's our best defender. And when you don't have his front foot aggression, you know, he carries the ball well forward. You know, he's got that good recovery, but he's a very good defender, right? And people disrespected him massively. And we're seeing now how much we miss him, and also how much better Colwell is when Fofana's alongside. I don't think there's any coincidence.
It's about a partnership, though. Like, I mean, like what we've seen when you talk about like Fofana and Colwell, they're starting to establish a partnership together.
Exactly.
They understood each other's tendencies in game.
Yeah.
And like now, when you bring in somebody like Tosin, who hasn't really been playing with that guy, playing with Colwell as much, you start to see that there's no cohesion there.
I don't think it's Fofana necessarily. It's just a competent right center back. It's just a competent right center back. That's the problem. Yeah. It's not necessarily Fofana.
But now we're playing our fourth choice centre back alongside Colwell. So Fofana goes down injured, right? He tried Badiashile, and then Badiashile got injured. So now we're playing Colwell with Tosin, who's the fourth choice centre back at this point in time. So like no wonder we're struggling a bit defensively. But like the point about Fofana is that like too many people have disrespected him, and you can see how important he is to this team.
100%. Listen, if you see the defender,
I say that still, but I don't think Tosin's played bad. I don't want to get it wrong.
No, agree.
Yeah, I don't want people to think we think or at least I don't. I don't think he's played bad. He's actually had some good games. But Fofana even is a level up. You can clearly see that. With Fofana not there, and everybody having to shift, just like Charlie said, it hurts us so much. It does.
Yeah. This is the thing, though.
It's affected the balance. The main thing is affected the balance.
That's the balance. Perfect way to
I'm going to bring you into it, Ads. Yeah, like you can see here for Amari Hutchinson, this is the second goal that he scored. Yeah, obviously, Disasi gives the ball away like an idiot. He gets back here, right? Go watch that goal back, and his defending, Ads, in this situation is an absolute disgrace. Right?
Nobody stepped
Look at all this space, bro.
Nobody.
Look at all this space. Man just watched him, and the thing is, I'm watching the goal back here, and I'm honestly in disbelief at how he just let man just have all the touches in the world and just shoot, bro. It's like he couldn't be bothered. It's like he got flashbanged. It's honestly like he got flashbanged, bro. You know what I mean?
And he just stood there. And then the fact he had the nerve to act like, oh, shucks, afterwards. It was like, fuck, you didn't do anything. You gave the ball away, then you didn't even step up.
You could have rectified.
No, I mean, listen. Let me correct myself from earlier, because I said I was done cussing out Disasi when he played right back, right? And I am. But here he ended up in a natural centre back position. So like, here, redeem yourself, cover up for your fuck up. But the way he was so slow footed here, like just literally stuck in the mud, flashbang, maybe even concussed, maybe both, because this was horrible defending. I mean, looking at it, it makes me disgusted, honestly. But again, I have to bring it back to Maresca, right? And it's not just the decision to start Disasi, right? It's the fact that, and again, it's on Maresca and the directors, a combination of both. Because in the summer, for me, it was clear that you have Disasi there and you have Trevor Chalobah there. And I think for me, the better squad player to have in the squad, for me, was Chalobah. Because in a situation where we have two starting right backs who are injury prone, it wasn't beyond belief that they were going to both be injured at times between Reece and Gusto. I much prefer Chalobah playing as a right back who's going to move into RCB. It's way more comfortable, but we didn't make that decision for whatever reason. I don't know. And I do, again, you lot will talk about the conversation on Nkunku, and I have to bring it back because for me, yes, Nkunku as a striker has been dead. The movement, I'm not liking in terms of like the pressing and whatnot, that's been bad. But for me, he's still comfortably the second best attacker on our team. For me, he's still the second best attacker in our team comfortably. I think he's better than Sancho, Neto, Noni, the rest, Jackson too. It's only Palmer that I would say is above him. But for me, you need to get that Nkunku in a number 10 position, in a natural creative position where he can get involved, because as much as he's very talented and very gifted, I don't want to bring it, I know I'm bringing it back to Nkunku, but I just have to make this point that as gifted as he is, you need to keep him involved in the game. For some reason, he's sometimes complacent, not getting involved, not getting many touches. And he's not the kind of guy that is going to have a massive impact on the game if he's getting a touch every 10 minutes. He needs to be involved. But again, Maresca, same with just the Sarzi and Chalobah decision, and now with this decision of having Nkunku be a 9, you brought in Felix late in the window. Both decisions for me have cost us points this season. They've made our squad weaker. Where for me, we could have kept Nkunku as a backup for Palmer and somebody that can play left wing and then play in this left 10 channel and then buy a natural striker. Again, we were linked with Samu, other players, but it ended up with Nkunku as a backup.
I think somebody mentioned this earlier. I think it was on this panel. Somebody mentioned something about how the acquisition of Felix displaced Nkunku.
I've said that many times. I've said that numerous times.
I wasn't really sure about that, but now I see it like as plain as day. It's obvious now. Because he would have been number 2. He would have been the number 2, probably the number 2 striker and the number 10, right? And now he's just getting reserve minutes as a number 10 if he comes on at all, and like reserve minutes as a striker, right? So that much is
he would have been just a number 210, because if we didn't buy Felix, we were going to get Samu or just another striker. But now it's like, I would have got Felix, so
it would have been better for the squad.
Yes.
Like, just
100%.
But just quickly on what Ads was saying about defense, right? Just to round this thing out, right?
Yeah.
The decision, hindsight's great, right? But the decisions we made over the summer defensively, it didn't make sense, because we are actually worse at centre back than we were last season, because Chalobah's gone and he's better than Disasi, and we've replaced Thiago Silva. I'm not saying this is a like for like replacement, but that space in the squad has then been filled by Tosin. So arguably, you've got Disasi in the squad who is worse than Chalobah, and you've got Tosin in the squad who is considerably worse than Silva. And yes, you could say that Fofana's come back, but actually, with them two decisions, we are actually worse off defensively than we were last season, in my opinion.
No, but I
agree.
Tosin, Silva's replacement is either Fofana or Cole.
No, I get that, but my point is, like, he's taken the space in the squad. I don't mean we've replaced Silva with Tosin.
There was nobody we could sign that would be.
No, but we could have done better, though. We could have done better.
I wasn't that bad against Tosin. I don't know who
Tosin's
who
a backup.
we had
He's a backup,
spent money on that would have been willing to come in and be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to eat bench. Because whoever we signed,
yeah, but you know what? Honestly, though, everyone I've heard though, like that was speaking of Tosin in the summer coming into the season, they were talking about him being the replacement to Silva, being the guy that's going to sit next to Colwell. I never saw it that way myself. I always saw him as like
most people said it was going to be Fofana and Colwell. I was making arguments that it could be Tosin, but most people I thought it was going to.
It could be a leadership.
Nah, man.
Do you know what it is, though, Jimmy?
I was hearing he was supposed to be the center back pairing, him and Colwell. I was like, what?
Nah. What it is, I think Fofana's Fofana's highly rated by the club, innit? And we know Fofana.
Yeah, that's what I always looked at. Right? I always thought Fofana was for sure going to be the starter.
But Tosin was still going to be a replacement for Silva, because Silva wasn't meant to be starting weekly for us, bro. Last season, we all had conversations about dropping the guy, but still playing him in certain games.
Yeah, like phasing him out. Yeah, phasing him out.
Right, exactly. And with Tosin, you can clearly see that he's the uncle of the group. He's the leader of the group. You know what I'm saying? Like I told these lot in the summer, he was captain for Man City's academy as well.
He's a decent squad player. I have no problem.
He's a very good fourth choice. Very good fourth.
Yeah, he's very good third, fourth choice center back. I'm cool with that.
He's being scapegoated. I don't think Tosin's been the problem. Like, even in this game against Ipswich, in the first few minutes, bro, he made a very good block off the line, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the ball was going in. He made a very good block. I remember against Fulham in that game, I was there again, people.
That was the best block I ever seen.
I think he was man of the I think I had a man of the match against Everton, I think.
It was good against
Everton.
It was very good.
You know what I mean? So I think people are just being a little bit lazy when they talk about Tosin. I don't think Tosin's been the problem. I just think that there's a clear difference in quality between him and Fofana. And Fofana brings more to our team.
I agree with Charlie with that. With Fofana being gone,
we shouldn't be comparing them, though. That's the wrong comparison. Why are we comparing Fofana and Tosin?
Because
there was people saying that a couple of performances, there were some people saying Tosin was better. Charlie's not lying. I remember.
There definitely was. There definitely was. After that West Ham game, people were saying it. And it
was saying in terms of the way they play for the team, Tosin can't play where Fofana plays. He's not.
That's what I'm saying, AJ. That's what I'm saying, AJ. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm not going to say
better for our team. Fofana's better to start for our team, but I don't think Tosin's a bad backup, is my point, right? But just to move on a little bit, right, with the shape that we've been seeing recently, because this is a shape that we've been playing. We played this the other day as well, AJ, and I reckon we're probably going to do this again against Palace, right? So you can see here you've got a back three, and then you've got Caicedo that's been playing the bottom of the diamond. Really, he's been playing as a lone six. Palmer in the right half space for this game, which was good. You had Felix that was playing more on the left half space. And Enzo and Palmer were rotating. In this screenshot here, you can see Enzo's more of the 10, but him and Palmer were rotating quite a bit in this game, right? Have you liked seeing this sort of shape, bro? Because on the transition, we can see that it's a bit of a headache because Caicedo's having to cover ground by himself. And listen, you see Palace on that transition, bro, with Ismail Shah. You've got Eze. You've got what's his name as well, Mateta. They've scored a couple goals on the transition this season. You know what I mean? That could potentially catch us out. Is this something that you want to see going forward this weekend, bro, or do you want to see more of a pivot? Would you say?
I mean, just to talk about the positives of this shape, like when we actually do break that first like level of the press, we do get like really deep into the final third, you know, and it's been our decision making that's let us down. But I do think, you know, defensively we're already not the greatest defensively, right? And then we're prone to errors. But when you play a system like this, you know, the center backs are a little bit more exposed. And if they're an error prone type of player, like Disasi or, you know, Badia Shield has been, even Colwell has been, you know, you're probably going to give up a goal. And that's what's been happening to us, you know, recently. But I do think that, you know, I know Enzo has scored a couple goals and he's been, you know, a little bit more impactful in games. You know, he's working harder. I think the fan base is noticing him a little bit more now. So, you know, he's made the best out of this role. But I still do think our best moments come from when Enzo has the ball a little bit deeper and then he plays that pass before the final pass. You understand? Where he'll play somebody into like Cole Palmer or into like Sancho, and then they'll make like that final pass. So I think, you know, and then on top of that, we've been giving up goals. So I just think we need to kind of work the pivot a little bit for the next couple of games, shore it up. Also, that right center back in this system, the right center back, you know, and the left center back, they have a responsibility of carrying the ball forward because they end up getting a decent amount of space. But you know, Colwell is decent at carrying the ball and he could pass the ball forward, but you know, it ends up getting dry when it gets to Disasi, and then that affects the right winger. So, you know, it's a lot of things to think about, you know, but I mean, just for my preference, I'd rather have a pivot.
How about you, Koch? What are you saying, man?
Yeah, I just think that it's horses for courses, you know, and like a game like this where we had 74% of the possession, I don't see the need for a double pivot. You know, we need a more attacking intent in the final third. We need more players that are good at finding spaces, you know, and, you know, occupying areas where the defense don't want to be. And I don't think that we got the shape wrong in this. I just don't think that we had the execution. No execution whatsoever in the final third. The opportunities that we created were good enough to win the game, and we just didn't take any of them, right? So, yeah, we already talked about like Enzo thing, and yeah, there are going to be games where you want to see him a little bit deeper when we're playing on the transition, when we're trying to catch teams in transition, like where he gets that pass in, you know, the center circle area, and then he's just like whipping it out to one of our wingers or right through to one of our, you know, our striker or number 10. But when we're in the final third and we have possession of the football, I still think that he's being deployed correctly. He's in the right area, you know. I don't think that there were many opportunities where we got caught out with not having the double pivot. I just think that the errors that we did make in the game showed that the gaping hole was there. But we didn't make that mistake wasn't made because of the double pivot, the lack of a double pivot, if you know what I mean, right? If you feel me? Like, so yeah, it's truly what I'm seeing right now is just that we have a few players in the side that we don't have a like for like replacement for. We're talking about Fofana. We don't have anyone that can play in Fofana's role. You can probably make the argument that maybe Achapong is probably the best candidate for that particular position. But, you know, obviously Maresca doesn't trust him right now, right? He's young, right?
I'm seeing that what's his name? Anselmino. You know, I've spoken to you guys about Anselmino before, and I've said he's a very similar profile to Fofana in terms of that high pressure, you know, very, very tight onto his man. But I'm seeing that he hasn't got enough points to actually get a visa to live and work in the UK. So he's probably going to get loaned out. And I think he's injured at the minute as well. So there's a few things. Charlie, what do you want us to do in this month then, bro? Because there's clear gaps here and there's clear improvements that we can make. What do you want us to do in this January, bro? Do you want us to do anything?
Or well, you mean the window?
Yeah, the window. Yeah.
Look. January is so difficult. I think, look, we've signed so many players over the last few windows that part of me feels like we just need a window where we sign no one, get rid of Chilwell, get rid of Chukwuemeka, get some of these guys out that we need to get rid of, and then we do what we need to do in the summer. But at the same time, look, if an opportunity presents itself to bring in a centre-back, for example, the right profile, someone that's going to make a difference, then I wouldn't be against that. I don't think January is a good time to bring a striker in. I just don't see the level of player we need available in January, or if they are, you're paying well over the odds, which I think we're actually trying to do less of now, if the summer's anything to go by. So for me, unless you've got an opportunity to sign a centre-back and it makes sense, then honestly, bro, I would rather we didn't do anything. I know that might sound mad because there are gaps in the squad that need filling, but I'd rather we didn't sign anyone unless it was a centre-back and it's a good opportunity. And let's bring Chukwu back from loan to give us some depth and some more legs in midfield. Other than that, I don't think we need to do anything. Well, not that we don't need to do anything. I just don't think it makes sense to do anything.
Yeah, but Leslie, I don't know, man. Ads, do you think Leslie's going to get called back?
I'm hoping so. I think that's the thing that we absolutely need to do. Because when I look at our midfield depth, like it's extremely imbalanced. Because we have 4, if not 5 guys who can play in the number 10 position. And the number 10 position is the one that gets rotated the least. Like Cole Palmer plays every single game, whether he's playing good or not, he plays 90 and that's it. And we have people like Dewsbury Hall, Carney, who have offered nothing this season. Whereas in midfield, obviously you have deeper in midfield, you have Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia, who we know is injury prone. And then that's really it. And do we want to wait on Caicedo getting injured? Do we really want to risk that? Because this season can go left really quick if that happens. So for me, it's a no-brainer. You have to bring back Leslie. Again, let's talk of the new manager, like really liking him or whatnot. That's all well and good, but we need to apply some pressure and bring him back. And if not, then for me, we got to find a solution for that. I know I agree with Charlie that we don't need to do what we've done in the past with Chelsea and go and overspend in January for players that haven't got a long-term future here. We definitely don't need to do that. We have enough solutions within the network of Chelsea, Strasbourg, etc. like that. We can bring somebody in. But again, I don't think us bringing Andre Santos in when he's having such a good season in Strasbourg just to be a backup. But for Leslie, it makes sense. So we need to get that done. And then for the back line, yeah, I mean, sell the Sarsi, please. For his sake, if anything, more than us, but just sell him. And then just trust Achimpong, to be honest, because, yeah, Reece James is back in the fold. Hopefully, touch wood, the guy can stay fit. And we just see what we can do with that. Because, again, centre-back, if I want us to buy a centre-back, it needs to be like the main guy, like a top centre back. That's going to be the leading guy in the line. If Fofana is continuing to stay injury prone, because this season, like a point like Carter made quite a few times, is that these young centre backs who have only played 15, 20 games together, that's hardly any time to build a relationship. And that's what the top centre back partnerships have. They have time over seasons building a relationship. And so far, Fofana and Colwell, yeah, it's been shaky at times. But if you're looking at it from an overall standpoint, they're doing quite well for their first time playing together. However, if Fofana is going to keep getting injured, and we're this close to, for me, being a title challenging team, a title winning team, I'm not really trying to wait around and then wait for, okay, let's go and buy another young centre back and then we wait 3-4 years for them to reach their prime. Hell no. We've got enough players who are approaching their prime. Let's add some finishing pieces and actually win a league title, because this squad is close to being able to do that.
But it's not this year, though. You would agree that it's not this year, though. Like, we'd have to wait until at least we get through the end of the season and figure out where we are at that point, right? Because
I'm not going to lie.
No, as much as I agree with you, no, you go first, man. You were talking anyhow, so go ahead.
No, absolutely. This wasn't the season to do it. Although I'm not gonna lie, a few weeks ago I was starting to get a bit giddy and thinking, oh, could we maybe do something? Liverpool might drop some points. So I'm not gonna lie, I was getting close to being like, we might do it, but in reality, no, it's too soon for this squad. Yeah, I mean, usually I like to be very measured and like not jump the gun with these things, but I can't, like, looking at Arsenal and then thinking Liverpool eventually will drop, because Salah's form is not gonna be the same as it's been, but. Yeah, we're not ready. At the end of the day, we're not ready, and that's okay, because I can accept that as long as we get top 4, play well, and win at least 1 trophy, if not 2. I'm trying to win 2 trophies this calendar year. So
title challenge was always on a knife's edge for me. Like, it could have went either way. We needed it to fall the other way. I don't think it's over yet, to be honest with you either. I think that every team's gonna have a rough patch, and it's who capitalizes on it. But yeah, like for me, it really just comes down to injuries, man. If we cannot stay healthy, like I said, I don't think that we have the depth of squad to compensate for injuries in key positions. We have depth of squad, obviously. We have a lot of attackers and, this, that, and the other. We have Disasi who can come in and play right back in a pinch, if you really need him to, but obviously not ideal. But yeah, like we just don't have the depth of squad to withstand multiple injuries to, the likes of Fofana. I think Lavia, like I as much as Lavia is so crucial to how we want to play, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that can be understated. And you guys know how I feel about him as a footballer. I thought that we were playing our best football when Lavia was playing in the midfield with Caicedo. Granted, those were our toughest games. We played against Liverpool. We played against Arsenal, all these teams.
And United.
Man United.
And Newcastle as well.
Yeah, and Newcastle as well. Those were our toughest teams. But at the same time, I still think that was our best, the most balanced we look as a team when you have those two together. I also liked when Caicedo was playing right back and inverted into the midfield. I thought that gave us another look that was very, very useful, because then you have Enzo in the number 10 position. So when you take these pieces out of the side and you're trying to struggle to play, you're inverting Gusto, you're inverting like Cucurella, varying results there. I'm not really convinced on that. All of these things is taking away from your preferred way of playing. And we haven't been able to see that over the Christmas period enough to really sustain it.
But just on that, right, very quickly, that for me, and the hindsight's great, right? But that to me goes back to maybe poor decision making / poor planning, where you've essentially gambled on Fofana being fit for the majority of the season and a Romeo Lavia being fit for the majority of the season, when both players have demonstrated in their short careers so far that they are unable to stay fit for the majority of a season. We haven't yet seen that, and we've made decisions based on the fact that we think they can do that, and that they haven't done it, and it's kind of bitten us in the arse a little bit, and we now lack options with those when those guys are inevitably missing. So it's easy to sit here and say that now, but I think you could look back on it and say, look, do you know what? Maybe we did roll the dice on thinking they're going to stay fit, but I think it would have made more sense to have kept Ugachukwu for the whole season and not loaned him out, because he was doing well in pre-season, he was playing well, he was scoring a few goals and that, and we could have done with him, because there is now zero rotation in midfield whatsoever with a Conference League gone. So I just think you look at it and you're absolutely spot on, but I just think it goes back to maybe we've gambled on people that we shouldn't have gambled on, not because of their quality issues, but because of fitness issues. And now we don't have them. The guys that are stepping in are
but even with Leslie, I don't think that he's a like for somebody like Caicedo. Like he gives you something different again, right? So that's what I mean. Like you're still in there. No, that's true. Another option, but like we have options that can play right back right now that can't give you the same thing as, say, I don't know, like what we're getting from Caicedo in that right back position, inverting into the midfield. It's just, this is the problem. I think that we have enough players, but we just don't have enough like for like guys that could come in and give us, similar minutes, maybe not the same level, but similar minutes, right? Yeah. And how many times have we seen even Maresca variate the way we're playing? Like we play a diamond sometimes. We invert the right back. We invert the left back. Like there's so many different variations.
Were before Maresca.
Say again, sorry?
A lot of them were before Maresca. So, he's working with what he has,
No, I get that. But I mean, just with the injuries, like when we have a preferred way of playing and we figure that out, and then we have an injury, we have to change the way we were playing to accommodate the new players that come in.
A lot.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
And Jimmy, obviously Lavia's back for the weekend. What are you saying? What are you saying about that? And Reece as well, Reece James. Obviously, we're speaking backstage. For me personally, I said I would start Reece. You and Couch were saying you wouldn't. You're a little bit wary. I would start him, bro.
He actually one thing he did say was, I think he was ready to go Everton, but he could have played against Everton, but he didn't play him. So if he held him out purposely just to start him, that's possible. He probably could have held him out 2 games longer than necessary just so he could start him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he started.
He should have cleaned one.
I don't expect him to play a whole 90. I wouldn't be surprised if he started.
He's our best defender. I think even better than Fofana, bro. When he comes to defending,
talent, talent, but I don't even count Reece James anymore.
Wait, so let me get this clear. Reece James, you think should start the next game, even though he didn't come on the field when we were losing the game.
Yeah, that's what he did last time. Remember, he brought Reece James back.
Because AJ, for me, if you
why
bring
did
him
he come on the field for the last 15 minutes? Then
he could still get injured.
I just said because he probably held him off longer to extend so he can start him instead of bring him on.
I think he got to have some sort of cameo appearance before he just.
He'll only play 60 minutes. He's not going to play a whole game.
No, he won't play
a whole game. He could even come off at half time, if anything, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he'll play a whole 90. He's not going to play a whole game.
So you want him to go from not playing for months?
What he did last time.
He did it last time.
The thing is, he's been training.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I wouldn't personally do it, but I wouldn't personally do it. But he's done it before.
You can agree with it or not.
It'll be no surprise if he starts because he did it before. No one expected him to play against Liverpool. He put him straight back in Liverpool away. So it's
not a call that I don't think it's when you're talking about a player coming back from an injury. I don't think you could just have an opinion on it. You have to be informed. That's just me personally. I don't think it's something you could be like, well, I don't agree with it. I will wait. Like you have none of the data to make that decision. So your opinion you pulling it clean out your ass.
Well, but that goes both ways, though, right? Like it can go. That goes whether or not you want to start him or not start him, right? Like that's the same opinion.
But I'm saying if he started, I wouldn't be surprised. And so the person saying, "Oh, I disagree with that," I'm saying, well, your disagreement is based on nothing, literally, because when somebody's coming back from injury, that's all based on metrics.
But if I'm saying I disagree because I think it's a rush to start him from 0 to 100.
You can't agree.
Yes, I can say that.
The only reason why we can't necessarily say that because the only reason why we technically can't say that because he's actually been fit according to Maresca and the team for a few weeks now. So they haven't been waiting on him.
Extra games.
I'm saying I understand that. That's one way of thinking about it. But I'm saying if he's coming off of an injury, I would love to see him for 15, 20 minutes before I throw him in starting at the beginning of the game.
But you talk about 15, 20 minutes in games when we need a goal or something. That's the whole different. Now he's out there.
Reece James can get us a goal.
But that's the point. Maybe he was but that's why I said you're not informed. You see what I mean by you're lacking.
But we all not informed. I'm just making a general.
But I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm saying whatever the coach.
And I'm saying that I would rather. I didn't say that is better. I would rather, just like you saying that you think he can start. I would rather him come on to make a cameo appearance before he starts a game.
AJ, I get AJ's logic, but that's the logic I would use for Lavia because Lavia just came back, right? But Reece has actually been here. Reece has been training. Reece was on the bench. Like even Maresca himself said he's ready to play, bro. But we're not gonna rush him. Okay. We're not gonna rush him. That's what he said. So we just have to hope.
By the way, just to that point.
Hold on, Az, before you come in, I'll be real with you, AJ. Yeah, we've tried many things, bro. We've tried starting him. We've tried bringing him off the bench. We've tried all sorts of things, and it still ends up in the same way. So if he's ready to play, I'd rather just start him, bro. You know what I mean? But go on, Az. Go on, Az.
Yeah, no, I think I understand where AJ is coming from because naturally we've all seen it over the years when a guy's coming back from an injury, we want to see him get like his 10, maybe then get 30, then maybe you play 60 minutes and then 90. But in a situation like with Reece, because he's been brought back for a little while and he's just been on the bench, we know that he's technically fit, maybe not fully match fit, but we just have to see how that goes. But again, Jimmy's right. We don't have the data of how many minutes he's done in training and whatnot. But the data we do have, and we know that Maresca has, is when this guy comes back from injuries, usually he hits the ground running and he's performing at a top level. And right now, when you're coming off 3 games without a win, you want to play your best players. So I can see why he would want to rush. Again, we're saying rush, but he's been available for 3 games. So I can see why he would want to start Reece James over Sarsi, Gasco, who's been trashed. Like, and obviously we haven't got Lavia, so we can't use the Caicedo as an inverted option. So it wouldn't surprise me if he starts again. If I do see him start, of course, we're all going to be wincing and hoping he can just stay fit because he's a top level player.
The only, and again, like I agree with everything that's being said here, both on both sides of the ledger. My only reasoning for wanting to decide with AJ on this is just that we already know what Reece James is like, as far as like coming back from injuries and going right back out again, coming back from injuries, going right back out again. This is a process that maybe resting him is not necessarily it's not necessarily going to provide the answer, but I just think you got to err on the side of caution with a guy like this, man. Like, really, like, give him minutes, like, because you can say he's training, but training minutes are not the same as game minutes. You know, you're not going full tilt in training. You know what I mean? You're not going sliding into tackles here and whatnot. So, like, I would rather see his minutes be built up more, you know, gradual than just like say, okay, here's your start, let's just go. And like, I know that the managers use them like, I know the managers use them like that in the past, and it's. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe that did aggravate. I don't know. But like ultimately, I would rather see a more traditional approach to building back minutes and just like thrusting somebody back in. Because for me, the next time is the last time. I don't think
everybody here said the next time is the last time. So it's funny that y'all want to throw him back now.
We don't say that till he comes back and drops a master.
Do you know what though, AJ? You got to look at the opposition. You got to look at the opposition, right? If we was playing a Newcastle,
I'm looking at everything, bro. I'm looking at everything.
I hear it.
Everything.
Oh, I hear it. We've all got Reece PTSD, but let's be real about it. Palace for this game should be sitting back most of the game, right? Reece is not going to get pressed like what we would get pressed if we was playing a Bournemouth, if we was playing a fucking Newcastle. He's most likely even going to play at right centre back in the game, off the ball, on the ball. Sorry, right? Which is what he's been doing when he's come back. We haven't seen Reece going into advanced positions as of yet. You know what I mean? So for him, when he plays this game, it'll probably even feel like training because he's not having to do much work, if that makes sense. Away from Mateta roughing guys up and that, most of the time we should have the ball, bruv. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hopefully the game goes like that. Because if it doesn't, then what?
That's a problem.
Then it's peak. If the game doesn't go away,
too, right? We're not the home team.
We're not the home team, but Palace are gonna sit back most of the game, man. They're gonna sit back most of the game. They're gonna come out initially.
Grounds.
How you feeling about the game, AJ, as well? How you feeling about it, man?
To be honest, it's another similar game compared to the last three that we've had. You know, where we're playing against a team that technically we're supposed to beat. You know, we have better players than them, so we'll probably have the ball more, like you said, but it's our kryptonite, whereas teams sitting back and then counter-attacking. That's been our kryptonite, you understand? And I do think we can, you know, as long as we're decisive and we clinical in the final third, I always think we could win because we end up just creating so many chances and half chances and bullshit chances, but we just end up not scoring as much as we should, and that's a problem. So I'm hoping that we could. But we were scoring, you know, a little bit a few months ago. So I'm just hoping that we could get back to that. If we could do that, then we could outscore teams. We need to get back to outscoring teams because we're not keeping clean sheets.
100%, Charlie, man. How you feeling going into the game as well, Charlie, man?
I would say worried, but maybe a little bit nervous about it, to be honest, because we are on a little bit of a tricky run. The last couple of games at Selhurst Park, yes, we've won, but we've needed last-minute winners to get the job done. It is a difficult place to go. Palace, I think, have only lost once in their last 6. I know they're near the bottom, but they've picked up a little bit of form recently. It's not really the sort of game you want to have when you're in the midst of a little bit of a tricky spell. So, look, I think we've got the quality to do it. And if we turn up and we play our best, then we will win. But I don't know. There's still a few question marks. And I'm just wondering whether Maresca is going to have learned from mistakes that have been made in the last couple of games, and whether he's going to rectify them, and whether he's going to, you know, play players in their right position, pick players that should be playing rather than maybe picking on names or reputation or whatever. So there's a few things that I need to see, but I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive about it, a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro. And the thing is, the mad part about it, right, is in 14 games, Palace are yet to beat us, right? We beat them 13 times in a row. And obviously, when we played them at the Bridge, we lost that record. We drew that game. But in that game again, Couch, we created 5 big chances, bro. We should have been at least 2 goals up in that game. And then Eze, out of nothing, you know, scores the banger that he did, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling like Charlie, bro. Right now, I've lost a little bit of trust in the team and a little bit of confidence in the team. But it's not going to take much to get it back. All I need to see is Maresca making better decisions and for us to be better in front of goal because we haven't been clinical, bro. I allowed it before when it was against the harder teams and with the tinkering. But brother, come on, bro. You can't be getting 1 point out of 9 in the past 3 games. You know what I mean, Cal?
No, that's definitely a 1 out of 9 is not it. You know, especially when we're talking like we were talking even like 2-3 weeks ago, right? But no, I think this game is tricky still, right? And it's only because we haven't really seen the best of Chelsea in these last 3 games. Like we haven't really seen you know, like, and we can talk about like having better players, but like if you're not playing good football as a unit, like as a squad, then it doesn't matter who you have like on the pitch. You're like, it's about like the unit performing. And so I'm apprehensive about this one too. I'm not really going into it with full chest. I'm gonna wait and see who actually makes the lineup too, like in terms of, you know, who's fit. You know, like we can say one thing, right? This guy's back in training, but who makes the bench? Who's in the lineup? Because I think that will kind of like dictate what, you know, we're going to be able to do, you know, just throughout the match. But yeah, it's a tricky game. Eze's a dangerous guy. He's a guy that can win a game on his own. So yeah, like we have to be worried about that. And you know, you look at where, you know, I want to see Cole Palmer get back to where he's at, where he was at even a couple weeks ago. We need that to be. He's got to be the fulcrum of our attack, and he hasn't really been the last little while. Yeah, he did put in a couple balls. You know, the goal to who was it that scored that one? It was offside.
Felix.
Yeah.
Oh, what a ball. Palmer and I was telling these lot in the group chat. I was watching Palmer and Enzo's back individually just to see all their actions. They were very influential against Ipswich, bro. Right? They should have both left at least one assist, even two, if anything. Enzo, he played a nice pass to Felix when Felix got the header in the box. That was from Enzo's pass. Palmer created some good chances. He had a shot himself from outside the box. Very good save. You know what I'm saying? So
I need the GNA Palmer for this one.
We want to see that. We want to see that. If you watch that first half back, I don't know if you want to watch it back, but I watched it back last night.
Yeah,
we actually played. We should have been leading at halftime if we actually put the ball in the back.
100%.
We had about 3 clean chances that we should have scored. You know, so. You know, obviously that's always the difference in the game, but you know, we have to do that shit. Like
exactly, bro. And listen, I don't want to do a Michael Owen here, but listen, goals change games, and that's what it is against low blocks, bro. You get that one goal, everyone starts to get confident. These guys start to get scared. I saw the Ipswich players, bro, in the second half. If you guys remember, when we got the corner, right, when the guy nearly scored an own goal, they panned to all their faces. They were looking shook, right? And I was like, "Come on, the goal's coming, the goal's coming." I was even telling you in the group chat, "We're winning this game, And then before you know it, you see man like Disasi just giving the ball away. You know what I mean? Ruined the whole plan.
Early goal in this game would be massive for us, just given like, you know, the run that we're on at the moment. Early goal would be huge for us, because the longer it goes on, the more frustrated we're going to get. You know, the more anxious people might get in the stands and whatnot. Like, an early goal is so big in this game.
100%. I would watch what's happening on that right flank too, whether Pedro Neto starts or Medwake. I remember Medwake had problems with was a Tyreek Mitchell last game. So it'd be interesting to see who starts there and if we can get any sort of like purchase going down that flank.
I actually think Neto's going to start this game. That's what I think is going to happen, man. But listen, people, still got 184 people in the house. We haven't even touched 100 likes, people. You're not taking the piss. You're not taking the piss, bro. That should be the first thing you do when you come in. You know, you go to people's house, you take off your shoes, yeah? The first thing you do when you enter the stream, you like the video, bro. Yeah? Quickly like the video, man.
First show of the year as well. Guys, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Look at the panel we've put together today, man. But Charlie, love for hopping on, man. Let them know where they can find you, bro.
Nah, always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure. Yeah, literally, you can find me at Blue Brother CFC as it is on the screen. So yeah, if you like what I've had to say, then feel free to subscribe. Would appreciate it. And you can catch me on Chelsea Fan TV as well.
Big up, man. And ads, love for hopping on as always, my bro.
Yeah, big up, bro. Again, the Twitter handles there, @forward_100. Yeah, a pleasure to be here. Happy New Year. And listen, I want to see at least one trophy, if not two, this season. Again, the one we know, the Conference League, there has to be one. And the other one, the summer will talk.
Oh, wait, you want the Club World Cup, yeah?
Listen, I want to be the only cup to have won every single trophy possible, right? We've done that. We completed football.
4 years.
Yeah, Charlie, you get that badge on your chest, innit?
Badge on the chest for 4 years, bro. We need that.
That's fire.
Nice.
And I mean, literally, we'll be the only team ever to have won everything. Conference League, Europa League, everything. Champions League, that, Club World Cup. Come on.
Imagine that little sticker there with the Qatar Airways as well, AJ. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that would be
good.
That would be nice, bro. AJ, as always, bro, let them know where they can find you, man.
Yes, sir. Big up. Catch me on TikTok, NYC Chelsea Blues.
Big up, man. Couch as always, bro. Let them know, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me again. Couch Critic is here on YouTube. It's Blue Couch Critic on Twitter, X, whatever it is, and yeah, that Club World Cup thing, man. Have you guys seen the ticket prices for that thing?
Where is it?
Are they mental?
How much
Where
is
is
it?
it?
Crazy, man. It's all over the states, but you can yeah. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna
finals
be,
in New York, MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, I'm going to the Philly game. I'm pretty sure Chelsea versus the Mexican team there. But anyway,
Club Leon. Yeah,
that's the one. The prices are crazy, man. Like,
How much are they?
we're talking like upwards of 200-300 euros sometimes, you know, depending on the match. If you get to the quarterfinals, you're talking about thousands for the quarterfinals.
Shit, bro.
Hey,
Charlie, you going out there? You going out there, bro?
maybe not now. Nah, I'd love to, but I need to price it up and see what it's saying. Because, bro, like, States is massive as well. Like, I wouldn't want to go just for one game, but then you've got to do there's like all the games are in different cities and that you're doing like different hotels, flying all over the fucking place. Like, bro, you can rack up a hefty bill.
Oh, you're looking at least 5 bags. You got to pull away 5 bags minimum, bro. If you
Exactly.
Easy. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Jimmy the Spliff people. Make sure that you're following him. Again, everyone's YouTube, everyone's TikToks, everyone's Twitter is going to be in the description, people. But listen, let's just hope we bounce back this weekend. You know what I mean? Like I keep saying, things could be worse. Yeah, we could be Man United. We could be in a relegation battle, people. In a bit.